Alright everyone, it's Orion here, and for this video we are now going to be breaking down all the details and information we have learned about today from Modern Warfare 2. Some revolve around campaign and some for multiplayer, so let's just dive right into it. The campaign takes place 3 years after Modern Warfare 2019 and features the return of the iconic Task Force 141. The story centers on following US and American Special Forces as well as Task Force 141 trying to stop Al-Qatala, a terrorist group that's working with Mexican cartels, and the game will follow our main characters trying to stop them in various locations such as Mexico, the Middle East, and Europe. Right there off the bat, the story sounds very promising, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. The game introduces new vehicle combat, including abilities to lean out of windows with weapons, climb on top of vehicles, and jump from vehicle to vehicle. Vehicles also can be damaged with tires blown and be repaired. We also get some descriptions of a bunch of campaign missions that got played earlier, that got played early by a bunch of people that sound promising, including one that takes place in Spain, where players are joined by Price in ghillie suits to take out enemies at 400 to 500 meter distances. Yes, this is a callback to All Ghillied Up for anyone wondering, since that in that mission in COD 4, we followed a young Captain Price who did the exact same thing. With water and swimming in Modern Warfare 2, Infinity Ward currently only allows pistols and melee items to be used underwater. Equipment can also be used, with proximity mines being able to float and move along currents of the water to take out boats. Infinity Ward states that Modern Warfare 2019 was attempting to be provocative in its storytelling, and with Modern Warfare 2, they are still focusing on realism, but also showing humans becoming heroes. So that right there is all we know now for the campaign, and I'll be honest, it all sounds promising, and nothing that, in my opinion, will hinder the game. As long as the story is not overly complicated like Black Ops 3 campaign was, then we are good here. Just make it fun and give me a good story to follow. So now let's move on to the multiplayer part of the whole reveal with the details that came from that. Modern Warfare 2 features enhanced Gunsmith with platforms where weapons share unlocks, new attachments, tuning mechanics, which allows players to fine-tune attachments. So, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what any of that means, and I'm not really sure why we have to fine-tune attachments. When I think of attachments, I think of a system that allows me to pick and choose what would go best, and that's it, nothing more. Here, this sounds a bit too much, and if I'm reading the first part right, if we get a dual progression system with attachments on weapons, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, so we'll just have to see once we get some more information about multiplayer down the line. We also get a bunch of information about bundles and pre-orders, and look, I am not somebody who should tell you what to do with your money, but I would seriously hold off on pre-ordering games anymore. It's, in my personal opinion, a waste of money, and it could lead to disappointment if the game is not up to par to a certain person's standards. Multiplayer introduces new movement mechanics, including swimming in certain maps, dive, and ledge hang. Sliding is also still available in the game. So here, this type of stuff is not so big for me in terms of the movement. Swimming is fine. Of course, that was first introduced in Black Ops 3, and I thought it was kind of well handled in that game. As far as sliding goes, I do hope slide canceling is not a thing anymore. I was not a fan of that type of movement at all in Modern Warfare 2019. We didn't get a confirmation if tac sprint is coming back, but I pray to God that it doesn't. I have never been a fan of that type of movement, and I just think it's very unnecessary for any type of movement in Call of Duty. Multiplayer in Modern Warfare 2 features two key styles of play: battle maps and core maps. Battle maps are large-scale maps, while core maps are built exclusively for 6v6. Core maps will take place in locations around the world. Battle maps will be POIs from the new Warzone map. So here, this seems simple from the core side of things, but the battle maps sound like something out of a new type of ground war, which I am here for. I've always loved ground war in Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2 introduces new multiplayer game modes, including Knockout and Prisoner's Rescue. New game modes are always good, but it remains to be seen what they will be like. So again, we'll have to see down the line what these new modes are like, and we don't really have a description for them at the moment. Infinity Ward confirmed that there is no theater mode in Modern Warfare 2 and that it could be something implemented broadly in the franchise in the future. So, yeah, let's all be real here. This is not good news. I just seriously don't know why they are so against theater mode being in the game. This was actually one of the needs for me that this game needed, and I just don't understand why they think it's so bad. Of course, for anyone wondering, yes, there has never been an Infinity Ward game that has featured a theater mode in it, and it's only ever been Treyarch games. I don't get this, man. I don't get this reasoning. Why would you not put a theater mode in your game? I don't understand. So let's just move on from that point. Ricochet anti-cheat will be available in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 from day one, when both launch. They did mention Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 won't launch on the same day. So, okay, this isn't really news, but we've known for a while now that the Ricochet anti-cheat isn't really an anti-hack software. It's just a software that if you hack, you will not be allowed to make another account, but yet you can still hack in the game beforehand. So, I mean, I don't know. This doesn't feel like it will do much. I certainly hope there isn't a hacker problem, because that will not make fans happy, especially if this all comes out during the launch of the game. Modern Warfare 2 will have an open beta later this year, with pre-orders getting early access. The beta will also be available first on PS5 and PlayStation 4. So a beta will be coming, and I'm looking forward to try and see if I can play it, especially since I still don't have the next-gen console yet. Eventually, I will try and get an Xbox Series X, but for right now, I'm still on Xbox One, so we'll see if they release it for that console. So, Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer will support a wide variety of player behaviors and allow different players to have fun in their own ways. Rusher, Run and Gun, Sentinels, Campers, and Stalker are the 3 key behaviors with default loadouts crafted for the playstyles. So, here again, I'm not sure what exactly they mean by this. If they are referring to the sense that with regards to classes, you'll have some default below your custom loadouts, like how every COD has done it, then that makes sense. But I hope this isn't like some gameplay changing style thing that I might be reading too hard into. I just hope the game is catered to any person that plays it and not just low skilled players like how Modern Warfare 2019 was. Modern Warfare 2 features a variety of new equipment, including tactical camera, drill charge, DDoS, and more. Here, okay, as long as the equipment is not overbearing and overpowered, then this is good. Getting new equipment for these types of parts of the class setup it's always good. You got to get new things and get, you got to get new stuff in these games eventually at some point. So this is all good. We also got some information regarding what the third mode will be, and it says Spec Ops mode will return in Modern Warfare 2, with more information on co-op mode being announced at a later date. No information on the rumored DMZ mode was shared. So here we get a confirmation on what the third mode is going to be, and honestly, listen, we know that Spec Ops in Modern Warfare 2019 was not good, so they really need to rebound here with this. I don't fault them for doing this mode, since it was their bread and butter with the original 2 games that they made, Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. So again, I think it kind of makes sense that they're coming back to do Spec Ops, even though I'm sure there are some people out there who would hope that they would have done a Zombies mode or maybe a sequel to Extinction, kind of like how I wanted it. So another thing mentioned was that it seems almost 10 to 12 studios will be working on this game, and of course it is all listed right below at the very end of the reveal trailer, if you guys noticed. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why that many people need to work on this game. I mean, it just seems like there are too many cooks in the kitchen and too much that could conflict with each other. You would think that would help the game, but we kind of got that with Vanguard as well, and that game is the worst one that we've ever had. So I really don't know what's going to happen with that. I could only hope that it will help the game, but yeah, I don't know. It just feels like they don't really need that many people to help work on that game. Gunfight will be coming to Modern Warfare 2 post-launch. It won't be in the game at launch, with launch focusing new modes like Knockout and Prisoner's Rescue. So again, why is this not coming out on launch? I don't get it, man. Like, release your stuff at launch, Activision and Infinity Ward. Get it finished. Why don't you release these kinds of things on launch? It doesn't make sense to me. So, okay, moving on. Gunsmith's attachment tuning is very precise. You can fine-tune attachments, but each comes with positive and negative effects on the weapon. The tuning system unlocks for weapons once you level weapons up. So, when I saw this, I straight up kind of had a brain aneurysm because I had no idea what I had just read. I mean, I feel like this makes sense, but also I don't know why there is such a hyper focus on attachments. I personally am not really a big fan of Gunsmith, and I just think it's too much and way too overcomplicated. Like, just keep it simple, man, with just a few attachments. Simple is always best. I've always said it. That's why the older Call of Duties are just so good to so many people nowadays. It's like those games were just simple. Nothing was so overly complicated about them, and it feels like here they're just doing a little bit too much. So Other than that, there was some stuff talked about with regards to Warzone 2, but honestly, listen, I'm so tuned out of Warzone and BRs in general at this point that I just didn't really want to talk about it, and it was also just so small. We also do know the official gameplay part of the reveal is coming tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I will be there to cover that as well for you guys. I think I covered all the main stuff, so I want to know what you guys think of all this information down below in the comments section. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to see more, and come along for the journey. I will see you all in the next one.